It's a big galaxy, and there's a lot to see and do in Star Wars Outlaws. Here are 8 things we wish we knew before stepping into the shoes of scoundrel Kay Vess. Star Wars Outlaws comes with a bunch of different settings options. It's worth poring over them all to best tailor the game to your experience. However, there are a few to look out for specifically. The game comes with 3 performance modes on console: quality focused with a 30 frames per second target, performance with a 60 FPS target, and then a 40 FPS mode that tries to balance the two. You can toggle on and off the 21:9 black bar crop based on your preference, and you can either toggle blanket difficulty or individually tweak different difficulty aspects of the game. Nix is your adorable companion in Star Wars Outlaws, and he is incredibly useful. He can steal stuff for you, disable alarms remotely, trigger the detonation of explosives, and a bunch more. You'll want to use him constantly, with the biggest note being that he doesn't even trigger enemy awareness if you steal something that would otherwise get you in trouble if you nabbed it yourself. While this unfortunately breaks the immersion somewhat, it does make it handy when you're trying to get a heavily guarded Syndicate member's keycard. Careful though, when a bunch of options to use Nix are clustered together, that you pick the right thing that you want the little guy to do. You don't want to accidentally attack someone when you're trying to pickpocket them. And once Nix is a certain distance from you, you can't order him to do something else until he's within earshot again. The reputation system is at the core of Star Wars Outlaws. There are 4 syndicates, and doing things for them will either improve or devolve your reputation with them. The reputation page in the menu shows what each tier means. For example, if you have a good or above rating with a syndicate, certain fast travel points will unlock if they exist in a district run by that cartel. If you have a poor or below rating, just being in those districts will get you in trouble. In my opinion, it's best to balance your reputation across the 4 groups rather than focusing on just a couple. While getting the best ratings will unlock a bunch of perks and even item rewards, being in bad with other groups can be a real pain at times. If you get an opportunity to boost your reputation with a syndicate, see where you stand. Would this drag you out of the negative red and into the positive blue? If so, do it. Likewise, would this piss off another group that maybe you're in hot water with already? If that's the case, perhaps it would be best to revisit this opportunity down the road. Almost everything you do has an effect on your reputation one way or another. Because you never want to piss off any of the syndicates if you don't have to, it is advised that you tackle objectives that revolve around them with the utmost stealth. However, you don't have that concern when it comes to the Empire. Several objectives and missions will have you take on stormtroopers et al., and while sometimes you may either be required to be stealthy, or maybe you just want to get in and out of their base as quickly as possible, if you raise the alarm, it will have no effect on your reputation. Instead, the Empire has a GTA-style wanted system. If it stays low enough and you manage to evade them, it will eventually disappear, but higher wanted levels won't go away until you find an empirical terminal where you can clear your wanted status. And if you fill the wanted meter, you'll have to hunt down a squad of death troopers if you want to clear your name. That being said, facing the Empire is where Kay is allowed to get a little bit more in on the action because it has no lasting effect on the reputation system at the core of the game. You will also come across random groups of pirates that will attack you while zipping around on your speeder, or raid villages that you can choose to help defend. And these guys can be blasted to smithereens without annoying the likes of the Pikes, Crimson Dawn, Ashiga Clan, or the Hutts. Star Wars Outlaws tries to be as organic as possible with its different gameplay systems, and asks you to simply stumble across a lot of what it has to offer rather than spoon-feeding it to you. If you come across a datapad, make sure to read it, as it might provide intel on where a hidden cache is, for example. Likewise, if you're walking around the cantina and hear characters talking in hushed voices, get closer to them and see if there's a spot you can listen from. Doing so will provide some useful information. Kay's ship, the Trailblazer, will also periodically be updated with new tidbits such as these, with characters leaving behind intel for you to take action upon, so every time you return to the Trailblazer, do a quick sweep of the ship before shooting off into space. Speaking of space, each planet has a small orbit area that you can fly around in with other ships to get into dogfights with, and even full-on space stations to explore. There are also a lot of caches and other valuable resources floating around, so if you're in need of a specific material for an upgrade, there's a good chance that you can find it more abundantly in orbit. Regarding upgrades, while you can improve things like Kay's blaster, her speeder, and even the Trailblazer itself with the right materials, traditional skills that you'd find in an RPG work a lot differently in the game. Rather than Kay leveling up and spending XP points on a skill tree, players will befriend different specialists as they progress throughout the game. These specialists then offer different skills that Kay can unlock by completing certain tasks. I suggest the moment you are able to, focus on befriending and unlocking these various specialists. They're so important that even a main quest will not let you progress until you have done the specialist mission that improves your speeder. There are numerous cool skills to unlock, such as Kay's ability to sweet talk someone that has discovered her, buying her some time to attack without them raising the alarm. There are also some skills that feel as if they should have been a part of the standard set that Kay begins the game with, such as caches being highlighted when using Nix to scan the area, that are unlockable via specialists. Star Wars Outlaws begins on Cantonica, where Kay lives in the city of Canto Bight. Quickly, she will be whisked away to the planet of Tashara, where the game will introduce the player to more of its core mechanics. After a couple of hours, the main quest will then offer Kay a number of objectives she can choose to complete in any order. Kay's droid partner, ND5, suggests that the first planet she visit after Tashara be Kijimi, and we recommend the same, simply because Kijimi is the home planet of the fourth and final syndicate, the Ashiga clan, and you won't unlock them until you complete that Kijimi mission. However, once you've tackled that, and the Ashiga are added to the reputation page, feel free to explore the other planets at your leisure. Also, while you can travel the more immersive way by jumping into your ship, shooting off into space, and in hyperspace jumping toward another planet, you are able to fast travel from any planet to another if you want to get there even faster than light speed. And those are 8 tips for getting started with Star Wars Outlaws. For more on the game, including our review, stay right here on GameSpot.